Thanksgiving class. I'm about to start my tribute speech. I want to introduce you to my audience prior to doing that. First thing, this is Christy. You guys saw her in my last speech. This is Tyla, my sister. Amber, my sister. Letitia, my mother. Tyrone, my father. All right, so I want to do my tribute speech based on two role models in my life and two people that I idolize and that I share the values and beliefs of life with. My mother and my father. I took a survey of the class in 2019, and 30% of the class said that they do not have a positive relationship with their parents, and then that same 30% said that they see that if they were ever to have kids, that they would educate their kids not based on their parents' beliefs and not based on how they were raised. Surprisingly, that same 60% said that having a relationship with their children is more important than having a relationship with their parents. So for me, that's kind of like where the relevance comes in. I've done multiple personal interviews with my parents over the years, just about like the facts of life. I'm gonna kind of start like the first tribute is to my mother. I learned strength and faith from her. My mother is always an optimistic person. She's never a person that seems to let her hardships drown her. So the strength I feel like comes from her faith. She grew me up in the church. She grew up in the church because her mother grew up in the church. So I feel like that always resonated with me. So that's, I feel like, something that I learned that I would teach to my children. So I feel like that's a very important asset to just learn in life. Transitioning into my father really taught me responsibility and obedience. Whenever I did anything wrong in school, I was immediately disciplined, and I feel like being disciplined as a young kid, learning about like being on punishment, recollection, it really kind of settled with me as a kid to learn like these are the rules of life, and you have to follow them as a kid, and if not, you'll get put on punishment. And that, as an adult, it turns into really understanding that you have to be obedient to the law. The law and my parents came hand in hand. They taught me like you'll get put on punishment for doing wrong in class as a kid, but then as an adult, you'll go to jail. So I was afraid of that, and I feel like my father really made sure that I was obedient. I knew the right thing to do, and that turned into responsibility of finances, responsibility of just handling business, just making sure that I was responsible as a young man. So I feel like those as a child, it is the reason why people think I'm conservative today, because I know right from wrong because of my parents. Lastly, I learned from their relationship. Their relationship is the reason why I feel like I know how to treat a woman. A woman knows how to treat me because I've seen it from their relationship, and just I've seen them do good by each other. So I felt like that is why I can maintain relationships myself. I feel like I have good friends. One of my best friends is Julian Virgin, and he like understands that I'm a solid person and I come from a solid background, and he sees that every day. So I really feel like learning from their relationship taught me how to maintain solid relationships with my parents, with just friends, with women, with other guys that are my friends. I feel like I learned a lot of important values from my family, and I feel like you have to learn those type of values to have some type of guidance as an adult, and that will in turn, you can pass those values down. You take some beliefs, you take some values, and you choose to make the wise decisions based upon their values. So I definitely believe that you learn from your parents to teach others, not you learn, or not you don't learn at all, and you're just misguided. You have no guidance, so that way when you become a parent, it's hard for you to parent because you don't know what good parenting looks like. So those are my tributes to my mother and my father. Again, 30% of the class that took this survey said that they feel that teaching your kids is more important than learning from your parents, and I just think that's backwards. I think you have to learn from your parents in order to teach. My dad talks to me all the time, says, hey, my dad's in his 80s, he knows it all, and I thought, like, as I was younger, I didn't know anything. Same thing with my mother. My mother calls her mother for everything. She tells her mother everything. So I feel like that has definitely reconciled in my life, and it's definitely helped me become a solid individual. Thank you, class. Happy Thanksgiving.